You would have listened stories of success, but what if we tell you the moments of miracles, a child destined to live? In the entire recorded history of global capitalism, there has never been a winning streak like his. Rised from the ashes of his destinies and reached to the highest peak of the wealth, became the richest man not only of that city where he sold flowers.
Not even to this he became the richest man of the Asia. You would barely know him, because he hate fame and loved to live in simplicity. 50 years. Not one catastrophic loss. He didn't know what it was worth. He knew what it would be. The economists call it an anomaly. The mathematicians call it impossible. Never ever lost any investment due to his loyalty, and became the most deserving human of the century. We are going to witness his journey of life.
Flower seller to Asia richest person in the entire recorded history of global capitalism, there has never been a winning streak like his. 50 years. Not one catastrophic loss. Not one. The economists call it an anomaly. The mathematicians call it impossible. And the billionaires who competed against him call it something else. They whisper it in boardrooms from London to Shanghai. How does he always know? His father died. He was 15. Act I, the price of everything. The year is 1943. Japan occupies Hong Kong, a city of ghosts and hunger and smoke. In a room the size of a prison cell, 4 children. A dying mother pressed to the wall, and a father, a school teacher, who fled China with nothing, coughing blood onto a rag he is trying to hide from his eldest son. The boy's name is Ka-shing. He is 13 years old. And his eyes are already doing something terrifying for a child. They are calculating. 2 years later, the father is dead. The boy is 15. He is now the head of a starving household. He packs his school bag for the last time. He folds his exercise books. Neatly. Precisely, he will never return to school. Not for a single day, for the rest of his life. 16 hours a day. 6 days a week. Sometimes 7. The factory floor is noise and heat and repetition. He is the youngest worker there, and somehow also the most dangerous. While other boys his age were sleeping, he was studying. Not in school. Not with a teacher. At a table in the dark, a candle burning, supplier catalogs spread before him, teaching himself the economics of the world that had taken everything from him. Act II. The education that never happened. He was teaching himself something the factory owners did not want him to understand. He studied competitors. He studied customers. He memorized the price of every material input his factory used. He asked the suppliers questions that made them uncomfortable. Questions they couldn't answer. He never returned to school. Yet 40 years later, he would regularly outmaneuver the most expensively educated financiers in the world. He was 16 when he became a salesman. He was 17 when he became the top salesman in Hong Kong. He was 22 when he owned the factory. Cold rice forgotten beside him. trade catalogs from Europe spread before him. 2 in the morning in an empty factory, and he could not hear the door open because he was somewhere else entirely. His foreman found him there, told him to go home. Ka-shing looked up and said simply, "Without drama, without defiance, I don't have time to go home." The foreman stood in the doorway for a long moment, then nodded, barely a movement, barely a millimeter, and left. The difference between the cost of a product and the price people are willing to pay for it. The gap between those two numbers, that gap, is where empires are built. He was 22 when he owned the factory. Act 3, the flower that changed everything, a crowded street market in Hong Kong. He stops at a stall. He is looking at something no one else is looking at. A small plastic flower, an Italian import. Crude, ugly by any standard, and yet it is selling faster than anything else at the stall. He picks it up. He turns it over. He examines the stem, the petal joints. The cost of the materials almost nothing. The markup enormous. People don't just buy what they need, they buy what makes them feel something. A real flower dies in a week. A plastic flower, perfect, permanent, affordable, lasts forever. And if you can manufacture forever for almost nothing, the margin is infinite. He did not copy the Italian design. He improved it without engineers, without a design team, without any formal training in materials science. He figured out a production method that made his plastic flowers 30% cheaper and visually superior to the Italian originals. Within 3 years, he owned the largest plastic flower manufacturer in Asia. Act 4. The man who sees what no one else sees. Hong Kong is on fire. Not metaphorically. Riots grip the colony. Bombs detonate daily. The British government is considering abandoning Hong Kong entirely. Property prices have collapsed. Wealthy families are fleeing to London, to Canada, to anywhere that doesn't feel like it's about to implode. Li Ka-shing is buying property. Aggressively, a bank manager sat across from him, slid a valuation across the desk, and said with the gentleness of a man stating the obvious, "Mr. Li, these properties are worth nothing." Li Ka-shing looked at the document, then looked at the banker, and said 3 words, "They won't leave." The banker stared at him. "How can you possibly know that?" A long silence. Ka-shing looking at a man who genuinely could not see what he was seeing. Then quietly, honestly, without apology for the inadequacy of the answer, "I just know." The banker picked up his pen. This was not a one-time event. It happened in 1972, in 1981, in 1987, in 1997, in 2003. Every single time the Hong Kong property market convulsed, collapsed, or exploded, Li Ka-shing was on the right side of it. Economists have studied the timing. Investment banks have assembled teams to reverse engineer his decision framework. No one has produced a satisfying explanation. The man has never given an interview where he explains the mechanism. He simply smiles. A boardroom full of British bankers in expensive suits. They are about to hand Li Ka-shing the keys to Hutchison Whampoa, one of the most storied British trading houses in Hong Kong history. A colonial institution. And they are selling it to a boy who left school at 15. He walked the full length of that boardroom alone. No entourage. No assistant. One document folder. He set it on the table. He waited. The senior British executive looked across at him and asked, "Do you know what you've just bought, Mr. Li?" A long pause. The weight of the question in the room. The oil portraits of the company's founders on the walls. The Union Jack in the corner. A century of institutional authority pressed into the question. And Ka-shing said very quietly, "I know what it will be worth. Not what it is, what it will be." The future tense. That was the answer. He became the first Chinese person in history to take control of a major British colonial corporation. Not once, not twice, every single time. For 5 decades. Act V, what A plastic flour became ports, operated worldwide 52 countries. Assets across 6 continents. Peak net worth $40 billion. Years of consecutive wealth growth more than 50. Formal education completed none. What a plastic flour became. We can trace every company he built. We can document every acquisition, every exit, every billion. But the thing that made all of it possible, the thing that happened inside that 15-year-old boy when his father pressed a hand to his face and died, that thing remains a mystery. The most consequential mystery in the history of Asian business. Epilogue. The question that remains, and Li Ka-shing, the only man who knows the answer, has never told anyone. He simply built. And built. And never stopped. He said once, in a quiet room, to no one in particular, "I always think about what could go wrong. I never assume the best will happen. But I always plan as if it will." That is all he has ever said. About any of it. About the flour, about the factory, about the boardrooms and the billions, and the 50 years of being right when everyone else was wrong. He simply built, and never stopped. The plastic flour is still on his desk. Faded now. Its synthetic red turned to dusty rose across 7 decades. Still cheap. Still exactly what it always was. It does not know what it became. But we do.